You know the world of English is a fun and exciting place to be. I'm so glad you could join me for another lesson.
Welcome to Mr. Duncan's first ever edited video. Isn't it exciting?
Hi, welcome back to Mr. Duncan's Chinese Takeaway. Well, it's been another busy week and of course, as usual, I've been in the school teaching English. That's my job. Hi. I think one of the most common questions I'm asked during my time here in China by my students is, how can I improve my English? Well, it's not an easy question to answer just with one sentence. There are many ways of learning English. For example, reading is an important part of learning English. Of course, you need to learn by reading. If you read, you can learn new words. Welcome back to my Chinese Takeaway. Learning English is not an easy thing to do. Here in China, many students have common problems when it comes to learning and mastering this language. Hi, hello, welcome back to Learning English with Mr. Duncan. Hi, welcome back to my Chinese Takeaway.
Hey, Mr. Duncan!
Yes?
Did you have a good week?
I did actually, I'm glad you asked me that question.
Oh, can you tell us about your week?
Yes, I can tell you about my week. Last week I gave exams in the school to all of my students. That went very well. It's amazing how some of them have made really good progress over the last year, while others have made no progress whatsoever.
Oh, that's very interesting, Mr. Duncan. Tell me more!
Okay, I will tell you more, because you want to know more. Hi there. Welcome. My name is Mr. Duncan, and I work in China. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you doing today? Are you okay? I hope so.
Come on, Mr. Duncan, we're waiting.
Hurry up!
Where are you?
Come on! Hurry up!
Get a move on.
Come on, we're waiting!
Mr. Duncan, where are you? Quickly!
Come on.
Hurry up!
Hurry up, Mr. Duncan, we're waiting for you.
My gosh. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry I'm late. Oh. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. Welcome to another one of my English teaching videos. I hope you are well today.
In today's news, famous actress gives birth after sneezing. Man in Leeds misses his bus and is 20 minutes late for work. Online English teacher Mr. Duncan buys himself a new pair of socks. We have exclusive pictures. All those stories plus sport with Trevor Fast and much more right here on DNN News. Don't go away!
Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. What exactly is grammar? Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about a subject which is, for many people, very hard to accept. Death.
Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. During last week's edition of Ask Mr. Duncan, I mentioned some of the various gerunds and infinites which exist.
During this particular segment, I used the word practice as a verb. A few of you have written to ask if this is correct. Well, in some cases, the word practice spelt with a C can be used as a verb, such as in American English. When this word is spelt with an S in British English, it is used as a verb only. There is a phrase in English, a walk down memory lane. This phrase means that you are spending some time thinking or talking about past events. We spent the whole afternoon down memory lane talking about our school days. You might invite a person to take a stroll down memory lane. This means that you want to talk to them about their past. Sometimes it is nice to take a walk down memory lane. Welcome to English Live. This is the first ever one, the first ever time that I've done something live across the World Wide Web. Welcome everyone, we are back together again. Yes, it is Sunday, but it is no ordinary Sunday because we are here together celebrating 15 years on YouTube. Happy birthday to my YouTube channel. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. We are having a super time here. Mr. Steve and myself, we have been dancing around the house all morning because we are so excited. We are feeling excited. Do you know why? Have you realised why I'm so happy today? I am full of beans. I'm as happy as can be because it's 15 years ago today that I started doing this. Happy birthday to my YouTube channel. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I really can't believe that today we are marking 15 years since I started doing this on YouTube. I can't believe it. I just can't. If you ask me now to believe that 15 years ago today I started this, I would not believe a single word of it. I would say that you were lying through your teeth. However, it is true, and yes, it is our 15th anniversary. I hope you enjoyed some of those clips, some of those video segments that you just watched. A collection, however, not all of the videos that I've done over the years. There are many, many. I would say that I have done over 1 million hours of YouTube over the past 15 years. I think so. I think it would be fair to say I have done around 1 million hours over the past 15 years. And it's really nice to be with you again. The weather is lovely also. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Mr. Duncan. And guess what I do? I think by now you know exactly what I do here on YouTube. I talk about the English language. I love English so much. You might actually say that I am an English addict. Welcome to a rather windy day. It's very windy. We've had so much rain as well. A rainy day, a rainy morning, but we have a sunny afternoon. The sunshine is above my head. If you look behind me, you can see the view. That is the view right now out of the window. Everything is looking rather nice, to be honest. There it is, a live view right now. You can see it's windy. We've had so much rain. There has been a lot of flooding around the UK over the past 48 hours. We have had so much rain. I have a feeling if you are watching in Europe and across Europe, I also have a feeling that you have had a lot of rain as well over the past 24 hours. So here we are again. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that we are back together. To say that this month has been busy might be an understatement. I have had a really busy month with you I had 29 days of special live streams, which has completely worn me out. In fact, I'm so tired by all of that, I will be taking a little rest during November. However, I will be with you, don't worry. Don't worry, I am with you during November on Wednesday, yeah, and Sunday, yeah. So everything is the way it was before October. So I will be with you twice a week on Wednesday and also on Sunday with my English Addict. However, many years ago when I started doing this, way back in 2006, this channel was called Duncan in China. And the reason why it was called that is because I created this whilst I was living in China. So I was working in China as an English teacher, and that's exactly what I was doing there. And that's the reason why I was there. So in the very early days of YouTube, when YouTube was still a little baby, before the days of advertisements, before the days of annoying videos with people putting too much food into their mouths, before all of the swearing and the violence, there was a video of a baby biting a child's finger. There was a sneezing panda. There were some people having a visit to the zoo. And there was me. So there was only 5 things on YouTube. And the other thing was a blank screen with nothing happening at all. So those were the only things you could see on YouTube in 2006. There was nothing else there. But I was there way back on this day. I created for the first time my YouTube channel. And I remember the excitement I felt when I realised that I could actually make videos and publish them on the internet. At the time, it was a really big thing. I have to be honest, a lot of people were talking about YouTube. But even back then, way back in 2006, YouTube was not well known. There were not many people on there making videos. There were more people watching the videos than were actually on YouTube making videos. Of course, over the years, there are now billions, maybe 2.5 billion people making videos on YouTube. And I am just one of them. I am lost in a sea of people right now. I am literally drowning in content. So there are so many people now on YouTube making their video lessons and also other things as well. But I'm still here 15 years later. And one of the biggest differences, I suppose, over the past 5 years has been the fact that I'm doing it live. So it's only been since 2016 that I've been doing this live. Before then, I could only do it recorded. So that is one of the big changes that happened over the years. It's great to see you here. I suppose I should mention that here in England, here in the UK, the clocks have gone back 1 hour. So that is the reason why I am appearing with you at a different time. But the time is still the same. It is still 22 minutes past 2 on a Sunday afternoon. So everything that I do is still the same. The only difference is we have turned our clocks back by 1 hour. I wonder who was first on today's live chat. Of course, one of the wonderful things about doing this is I am able to join you live, but also you are able to join me live as well. So it's great to see you here today. But I'm just wondering now, who was first on today's live chat? That is what I'm wondering. Oh, very interesting. We have a rather interesting situation today on the live chat. I think I might have lost it, you know. I think I've lost it. I've lost the beginning of today's live chat. I can't believe it. It's disappeared. That is one of the problems with doing this on YouTube, is sometimes the technology takes over from you. I think, who was first today? Does anyone know who was first? Because unfortunately it's vanished from my live chat. That's very annoying. So I don't even know who was first on today's live chat. I think it may have been, I'm sure it was Beatrice or Vitas or Valentin or Oim Oim or Marshmallow. Perhaps one of you. Congratulations, you are all first on today's live chat. Well, that went well. That went really well, I have to say. Here we are then. Yes, we are back together again, and it's really nice to see you here today. I hope you are having a good day. And yes, as you can see under the screen, it says today we are celebrating 15 years on YouTube. I can't believe it. On this day, October the 31st, 2006, my YouTube channel was born. If anyone knows who was first on the live chat, please tell me. Hello to everyone else. We also have Sandra, we have Saturino. Hello, Saturino. Thank you for joining me today on a special live stream because we are celebrating our 15th year I can't believe I've been here for 15 years doing this. I really can't. Can we call this your birthday or your anniversary? Hello, Megar Kakar. Hello to you. I like your name, by the way. We normally say anniversary. So anniversary normally relates to something that happened on a certain date, and then when that date comes around, you celebrate it. You commemorate the anniversary. You remember that particular day. You remember it. It comes to your mind. And if you are celebrating the actual day, then you can say that it is the anniversary. So today it is the 15th anniversary of my YouTube channel being created. You might also say that it is the birthday of my YouTube channel, but it's more common to say anniversary. So quite often we will say anniversary instead. Hello to everyone. It's nice to see you here today. And I suppose one of the things that I always remember about doing my video lessons and making them, especially many years ago, was all of the moments that I spent outside. And one of the things I love is nature. And I think that's one of the things I've really taken to heart, something that I feel quite emotional and passionate about. So that's one of the reasons why I like making my video lessons not only in the studio like this, but also I like doing it outside as well. Whenever I get the chance to do it, I love going outside. Hello to Rosa. Hello, Rosa. Yes, we are here together live. Hello, Olga. It is so weird because to me, I was first. Oh, I see. So maybe Olga, I have a feeling perhaps Olga was first on the live chat. I think it was Olga, if I remember correctly. I did see it on the screen very quickly just before I started my live stream, but I don't really know. Hello, Marialba. Hello, Marialba. Nice to see you as well. Valentina, to celebrate your anniversary, Mr. Duncan, I am going to eat a biscuit, very similar to your Jaffa cakes. Well, can I just say, I have nothing to eat in the studio. There is nothing here. There are no cakes, no biscuits, no snacks. And do you know why? Because I'm not allowed to eat them. You know, I'm still on my diet. I'm still having to take care of my health. I'm walking a lot, but I'm not eating a lot, unfortunately. It is a shame, I know. We will have another look at the clips from my YouTube videos over the years, don't worry. The earliest ones, of course, are the ones in front of the red curtain. So when I was in China, very strange, I actually had red curtains behind me, which I always thought was very suitable. It was quite suitable to have red curtains because, of course, I was in China, which is often associated with the colour red. And then later, when I moved here, back to England, I also had red curtains. However, they weren't the same curtains. They were a lot different. And then, of course, as my technology and my equipment got more sophisticated, this is what we have now. We have live. It's incredible. I can actually do live streams, which I think is one of the most important things, one of the most important changes that happened over the past 15 years. I think my ability and the ability of myself to actually come on live and talk to you and we can interact, I think that has been a very big thing and maybe one of the biggest things, one of the biggest changes to take place. Olga says, Mr. Duncan, I joined your channel when you had striped curtains. Yes, I still have the curtains. They are in my studio. However, they're not hanging. They have been packed away. But maybe one day I will bring them back. Maybe one day the striped curtains will return. Here is something I'm going to show you now. This is an old clip. This is a video that I made whilst I was still in China. And this was way back at Christmas time. Yes, we are talking about Christmas. But on this video, I am celebrating Christmas 2006. And that is what we will be looking at for the next few minutes. And then Mr. Steve will be here. Yes, for those who are wondering, Mr. Steve will be here in a few moments as we continue to celebrate 15 years on YouTube. I really can't believe it.
It's Mr. Duncan's Christmas message. Hello, welcome. This is Mr. Duncan here in China on Christmas Day. It's now 9 o'clock in the evening on Christmas Day, the 25th of December 2006. I have just returned from the big Christmas party here in Baotou. Every year the government here in Baotou gives a very special party for all the foreign workers who are here working hard. So tonight I went there and we had a good time. They asked me to sing the song as usual. They always ask, Mr. Duncan, can you sing the song? So I sang two songs. I sang Jingle Bells, dashing through the snow on you know, that one, one horse open sled, all that sort of stuff. And also I sang a Chinese song, 你问我爱意，你有多深，我爱你有几分. I sang those two songs, but the big news tonight must be the place where I sat. I sat at the big table with all of the government leaders. I was actually invited to sit with the bigwigs of Baotou. So that was a very special honour for me. Also, they had a little game for the foreigners to play where they took a hula hoop and the foreigner had to spin the hula hoop around. And I did particularly well because my hula hoop managed to leave my hand and fly across the room and go straight through the middle of one of the large tables in the banquet. So that was great, but nothing was damaged and no people were hurt, so that was good. So I think that people will remember the 2006 Foreigners' Christmas Party for Mr. Duncan and his amazing hula hoop stunt.
Welcome to Mr. Duncan's first ever edited video. Isn't it exciting?
Hi, welcome back to Mr. Duncan's Chinese Takeaway. Well, it's been another busy week and of course, as usual, I've been in the school teaching English. That's my job. Hi. I think one of the most common questions I'm asked during my time here in China by my students is, how can I improve my English? Well, it's not an easy question to answer just with one sentence. There are many ways of learning English. For example, reading is an important part of learning English. Of course, you need to learn by reading. If you read, you can learn new words. Welcome back to my Chinese Takeaway. Learning English is not an easy thing to do. Here in China, many students have common problems when it comes to learning and mastering this language. Hi, hello, welcome back to Learning English with Mr. Duncan. Hi, welcome back to my Chinese Takeaway.
Hey, Mr. Duncan!
Yes?
Did you have a good week?
I did actually, I'm glad you asked me that question.
Oh, can you tell us about your week?
Yes, I can tell you about my week. Last week I gave exams in the school to all of my students. That went very well. It's amazing how some of them have made really good progress over the last year, while others have made no progress whatsoever.
Oh, that's very interesting, Mr. Duncan. Tell me more.
Okay, I will tell you more because you want to know more. Hi there. Welcome. My name is Mr. Duncan and I work in China. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you doing today? Are you okay? I hope so.
Come on, Mr. Duncan, we're waiting.
Hurry up!
Where are you?
Come on!
Hurry up.
Get a move on.
Come on, we're waiting.
Mr. Duncan, where are you? Quickly.
Come on.
Hurry up!
Hurry up, Mr. Duncan, we're waiting for you.
My gosh. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry I'm late. Oh. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. Welcome to another one of my English teaching videos. I hope you are well today.
In today's news, famous actress gives birth after sneezing. Man in Leeds misses his bus and is 20 minutes late for work. Online English teacher Mr. Duncan buys himself a new pair of socks. We have exclusive pictures. All those stories plus sport with Trevor Fast and much, much more. Right here on DNN News. Don't go away!
Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. What exactly is grammar? Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about a subject which is, for many people, very hard to accept. Death.
Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. During last week's edition of Ask Mr. Duncan, I mentioned some of the various gerunds and infinites which exist. During this particular segment, I used the word practice as a verb. A few of you have written to ask if this is correct. Well, in some cases, the word practice spelt with a C can be used as a verb, such as in American English. When this word is spelt with an S in British English, it is used as a verb only. There is a phrase in English, a walk down memory lane. This phrase means that you are spending some time thinking or talking about past events. We spent the whole afternoon down memory lane talking about our school days. You might invite a person to take a stroll down memory lane. This means that you want to talk to them about their past. Sometimes it is nice to take a walk down memory lane. Welcome to English Live. This is the first ever one, the first ever time that I've done something live across the World Wide Web. And there it was. Oh my goodness, so many memories. And I don't remember a single one of them there. Not one of them. Here he comes to join the party as we celebrate 15 years on YouTube. He is coming in a few seconds. Mr. Steve is on his way.
Hello, Mr. Duncan.
Hello.
Wonderful viewers.
Hello, Mr. Steve.
May I add my congratulations,
Why?
Mr. Duncan? Why?
What have I done?
15 years.
Yes.
I have suffered
You know, you don't even get that.
all this time.
You don't get that for murder. Not even for murder. If you murder someone, you can be out in 6 or 7 years. 15 years I've had to do this.
Well, Mr. Duncan, people are celebrating in many, many different ways all over the world right at this moment.
Yes, well, in some countries it's a public holiday.
Yeah, well, it should be here. Well, somebody did say, here we go, you should get a mention from the Queen, says Marietta.
The Queen. Well, unfortunately, the Queen isn't very well, so I don't want to trouble the Queen because she's 95 and she's a bit worn out.
Anna is baking a cake
Okay, Steve.
to celebrate.
That sounds
And,
good. But I can't eat. I can't eat cake. It's like some sort of punishment.
Why?
So I'm having to be really careful. Well, you know why.
Oh, yes.
I'm trying to
Because
get
of the weight issue.
What? You don't know why? It's literally all I talk about
Thought you
these
meant
days.
today.
It's all I talk about.
Valentina's eating a cake that's very much like a Jaffa cake.
Oh yes.
That's a very topical thing, very nice thing to do because, as you know, Mr. Duncan does like his Jaffa cakes.
I love Jaffa cakes. I like anything that's covered in chocolate.
Yes, and we won't mention what Tom's doing at the moment to celebrate.
Tom
We'll
is-
move right on from that.
Tom is doing. I think Tom, if that's the way you want to celebrate, just go ahead.
Yes.
Just go ahead. But don't forget, too much of that and you will go blind.
I'm not sure if somebody's blocked him, but anyway. Victoria says you've got more hair now than you did then,
That's impossible.
which is a very kind thing to say.
Well,
Lots of lovely remarks people have said. Can we call a birthday? Can a birthday be the same as an anniversary?
Well, it can.
Says Megan.
Yes, it can. As I said earlier, it can be a celebration of anything that happened on the date or the day that is actually happening now. For example, today is the 31st of October, but also on this date in 2006, I started making YouTube videos. I created my channel on this date. Can I say thank you, by the way? Thank you very much for YouTube for getting in touch with me and writing that lovely, lovely email wishing me well. No, of course not.
Oh, Mr. Duncan, you're so funny.
Of course not. They did not.
But there have been some lovely messages.
Good.
I mean, there's one, how people have valued your English teaching over the years. A couple of people, Beatrice and Victoria, said that you speak slower now than you did in your videos a number of years ago.
Yes, well, I think sometimes it varies. Even now, I think now, sometimes I speak very quickly and sometimes I speak slowly. So I think sometimes it depends on what type of emotion I'm trying to bring across. For example, in that video clip you just saw,
one of the excerpts was me pretending to be a newsreader, and I was talking quite quickly. But I don't always talk fast. But then again, I don't always talk slowly.
But of course, that is something I have to learn when I'm with you on the live stream. I have to learn to talk slowly or more slowly so that people can understand what I'm saying. Because I do have a tendency to rush what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think you just get excited.
I get very excited,
Yeah.
as you well know, Mr. Duncan, being live with you across the whole world with millions of people watching, literally millions.
Yes, only 2 of those things are right. only 2 of the things you've just said are correct.
Well, all the important people are here, and that's all that counts.
Definitely.
Don't you agree, Mr. Duncan?
Yes. It's a windy day, by the way.
Yes,
It's
somebody
windy.
asked about the weather.
It's
How's
wind-
the weather, says Mohammed.
It's windy.
It's windy,
It's windy.
which is quite good because, mind you, I had to go up the ladder
hi there.
earlier.
Yes, okay, Steve. Let's not bring everything down to a.
Not bringing anything down to anything.
You
I'm
went
just
up
saying.
and you unblocked the guttering.
Yes.
There we go.
And guess what was blocking it? One of Mr. Duncan's lights that he puts outside the house. It was blocked into the guttering.
It's one
So
of my.
I risked my life, Mr. Duncan, to climb up a ladder in these windy, cold, wet conditions.
It's hardly cold.
But it was a bit breezy.
It's a bit like spring.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like autumn. Oh, by the way, today also is Halloween.
Lots of horror films on last night, Mr. Duncan. Every channel you turned to,
Yes.
there was a horror film on.
And it's also nice to see that you've put your horror mask on today. That's really scary. It's incredibly scary, Mr. Steve. I'm petrified by that. It's very all of that makeup, the way Mr. Steve has made himself look like a zombie. It's amazing. It's very good makeup.
Well, you know. Shall I jab this pen into Mr. Duncan's ear?
Thanks. It's very kind of you.
So you're suggesting that I look like a Halloween horror, are you, Mr. Duncan?
Talking of appearances,
Yes.
I suppose we should talk about other things today. But a lot of people this morning have been making fun of the leader of our country. They've been
Not hard.
They've been comparing him to a certain comedian
Oh, right.
from many. So there he is. That's the that's not the comedian, although some people say it is. So can you guess which comedian people are comparing Boris Johnson to? A famous British comedian.
Is it, I don't know. Let me think. Somebody who's a bit mad,
A bit, yeah,
a
yes.
bit eccentric.
Someone who likes chasing women around.
Benny Hill.
Yes.
Ah.
Well done, Mr. Steve.
Right, yes.
Very good, yes. A lot of people today comparing Boris Johnson to Benny Hill. But
yes.
of course, one of them is a comedian who is never taken seriously and always likes to chase women around, and the other one is Benny Hill.
Oh, well done, Mr. Duncan.
Did you
well
like
done.
that?
I did like that.
I
yes.
like that one.
Yes, it would be nice to see, because if people don't know or haven't watched Benny Hill, probably haven't. I don't know how popular he was around the world.
Everybody knows Benny Hill.
Right. Okay. Well, yes. It used to be very funny when he used to do his sequences and they were speeded up.
Yeah.
That was funny. But of course, Mr. Duncan, sadly, we can't watch Benny Hill anymore. He's not shown on television because of political correctness.
Although,
he is deemed to be unpolitically correct.
yes. But
And thus we can't watch him on the television anymore.
But of course, we still have Boris Johnson. There he is. Look, so there is Boris Johnson and Benny Hill, and you can see.
Good grief.
I'm ever so sorry, world. Can I just apologise to the whole planet Earth for our leader? This is the leader of our country. That's the person who, at the moment, is standing up because, of course, it's the big. Is it G20?
No, it's COP26.
No, it's the G20 meeting first.
That's happened, hasn't it?
No, it's today.
They're having that now, are they?
They were
Right,
meeting.
okay.
Yes. I'm glad to see that you've been keeping up with the news.
Bang up to date with current events.
And then they are off to COP26, or as I like to call it, Cop Out.
Cop out 26, because we know no one's going to actually do anything.
Yes. So if you cop out of something, it means you avoid doing anything. So you cop out. So I'm not calling it COP26. I'm calling it Cop Out, because they will avoid doing anything to change the damage.
We heard a funny joke on television last night, I think it was, or the night before,
Okay.
saying that because a lot of world leaders have to go, the Queen, of course, isn't going.
Because
she would go because she's not very well.
She's old.
But they said they were going to send Prince Andrew instead, but then he saw the words cop in the title and decided not to go.
Okay, then. Oh, of course, because
Yes.
Prince Andrew, at the moment, he is one of the Queen's children. And he has been, well, I'm not sure if he has, but it is alleged
Alleged.
that he's been naughty in the past.
Tampering.
Okay, Steve, that's probably... Let's just leave it there.
Let's leave that one alone. We don't want to
Yeah.
get on the wrong side of the royals, particularly as, you want an award for 15
I
years
don't-
of teaching English.
Can I just say, I don't want anything. I don't want an award. I don't want anything. I haven't even got a play button. Even YouTube has never sent me a play button for all of my service, ever. So I don't even have a play button. Isn't that so? Oh, we have I think this might be a donation coming through.
Escalante.
Escalante, thank you very much for your lovely donation on the live chat. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to do that. Very nice. Yes, apparently you can see Benny Hill on YouTube. There is lots of Benny Hill clips and sequences on YouTube. So that's okay. That's politics out the way.
Yes, well, you said today is going to be very light and we're not going to do anything controversial.
No.
That's what you said, a happy show without any conflict.
No.
So no religion, no politics,
Yes.
no talk of Brexit or
Okay,
COVID.
Steve, but now you are talking about it. Steve,
What?
Benny Hill is popular in Colombia.
Ah,
You see? I did tell you this. He's huge in the United States. He has a huge following, even though he disappeared from television and ultimately died. So he won't be coming back unless, of course, there will be maybe a Benny Hill show with him floating around as a ghost, chasing all the girls around.
he used to. Yes, he was always surrounded by semi-naked women.
Yes.
All done in the best possible taste.
It was all done in the best possible taste.
But he used to take the mickey out of everybody.
Yes.
He had a character with him who was bald, and he used to slap him on the head all the time, and
Yes.
he had this sort of slapping sound.
Yes.
And
It's
Mr. Duncan wants to do it. I know he does.
It's very tempting.
It was a sped up sort of sound, wasn't it?
Well, it was a little old man.
It was a little old man. He was bald, and he used to go up to him and tap him on his bald head.
Slap
And
him.
slap him on his head, and it used to
Yes.
make an appropriate sound.
Good. That's great.
And it was funny.
Steve, I don't want to have any sadness today, but there is something I have to say. Something sad.
Should I put on my solemn face?
Yes. We have something sad to report
What?
in a moment.
Oh.
So what is the sad news? Well, the sad news is that the puddle, the location for the famous puddle dance, is no more. It's been filled in.
Oh, Mr. Duncan.
Someone has filled in the puddle. So that there is no puddle anymore. It's gone. Look.
Gone. You can't ever do that puddle dance ever again.
I can never dance in the puddle ever again. It seems so sad that the puddle that I performed my famous puddle dance in has disappeared. It's gone. Do you remember the days of the puddle dance?
Well, I was there. I think I filmed you, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
Did I film that particular
It's very
clip?
sad. It's very sad.
Yes, and of course we've got only one person to blame for that. The owner of that particular property.
Okay.
Famous actress who lives in Much Wenlock.
Okay, probably leave it there.
We'll leave it there, but yes.
Don't say any more, Steve.
The owner, because they
Yeah.
saw Mr. Duncan
Can I just say that
messing about.
the libel laws in this country are quite strict.
I'm not being libelous. I'm just
No.
saying we know who filled it in.
Yeah, you have to be
It's
careful.
a fact.
Okay, it is.
I'm not saying something incorrect.
No, but-
The owner of that property is filled in because they saw you dancing there, having fun, and then they thought, I'm going to get revenge on
Yes.
Mr. Duncan. I'm
And
going to
it-
fill in that hole and stop his fun.
I'm going to take away his joy.
Yes.
And she has. Well done. Thank you very much.
What she didn't know is that there wasn't any joy left anyway.
What?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
what a crazy-
I'm in a funny mood because it's a celebration.
Yeah.
I should have a cake for you, really, shouldn't I?
Can I-
Maybe maybe Anna can send you her cake.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Yeah. It's my 15th anniversary, not yours, by the way.
Yes, but I've suffered with you for those 15 years.
Yes. Well,
I've been here.
One of the interesting things is when I first started doing this, because of course I started doing it in China and then I came back here to the UK. But at first, Mr. Steve did not want to get involved in any way.
No,
He did not.
I still don't.
He didn't want to appear in the videos, and I suppose at the time he was quite busy with his work. His job was busy, and I used to do most of it by myself. However, I have something to show you. Do you remember the first time, Steve, you joined in with my English videos? It was a long time ago, way back in 2008. 13 years ago. Here is Mr. Steve making his first real appearance in one of my video lessons.
Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. In today's lesson, we're going to be...
Oh, what's going on?
Oh, hello.
This is my lesson. What are you doing?
I was just thought I'd help you a bit.
I don't
with
need any help.
Some of your lessons of the English
No,
pronunciation.
no need. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Did you see that?
Can you see that? It's video.
Oh, is it on?
Fascinating. Yeah, it's on.
Oh.
Recording. Shall we have a go then? Shall we try?
Try what?
Try the bit.
The
We're
bit
going.
where I come in and pretend to be you.
Yeah, you're going to pretend to be me.
Oh, right.
Can you do that?
Can I borrow your glasses?
Give it a, no, you can't borrow my glasses. I need them. Just do a run as if you're doing it.
Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? Are you happy?
Are you okay? Okay. Try again.
Are you happy? I hope so.
Excuse me. What are you doing?
Mr.
I'm sorry.
Duncan.
Did I hold your hand then?
La 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 la.
The famous Mr. Duncan.
I'm not famous.
I've seen your videos. I've seen them. They're wonderful. They help me speak English. Before I know speak English now. Good. My English good.
Okay, it's just being offensive now, isn't it? You know, we've passed the boundary of funny. Now we're into the offensive realm.
I'm getting out of the zone now.
Hurry up.
Hi everyone, this is Mr. Duncan in England.
It's everybody. Hi everybody.
Dashed it then.
I know, just hit the camera as well. Oh well, don't worry.
Hi, what?
Hi everybody.
How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. Body language.
That's a fact.
What?
Everyone.
Oh, it doesn't matter. There's no big set.
I want it to be right. It has to be right, or I'll cry forever. Do this across your bare bottom. Can't even afford a clapperboard. And action.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Hello.
What are you doing?
Mr. Duncan,
I'm Mr. Duncan, yes.
is it you? Is it really you?
It really is me.
I used to have an awful accent, but now I could work anywhere.
Come.
It's just seeing you. It's just so wonderful to see you in the flesh.
Can you believe this guy's trying to be me? I can't believe it. Terrible. Anyway, I have to do my lesson now.
Oh, right, okay. Then I hope you don't mind, me just pretending to be you.
That's okay. Okay, I'll call the hospital, they can take you back. Okay, that's okay. You're crazy. You know, the world of English is a fun and exciting place to be. I'm so glad you could join me for another lesson.
Oh dear. For those
Oh, Mr. Duncan.
for those who have just clicked on my face, you are probably regretting it. But yes, that was Mr. Steve and myself 13 years ago.
Although, according to some of the lovely comments, this could have been filmed yesterday because I look exactly the same, according to what some people have put here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As long as we don't look at Mr. Steve's neck.
Pardon? You see, well, yes, thank you. Flattery.
You know
yes.
you know what's happening to us both. So I'm not just criticising Mr. Steve for his decrepity, but also mine as well. I've noticed that the first thing that goes is your neck. So this is what we've noticed, our necks.
That's what yours. I mean, look. I'm exposing my neck. It's fine.
We're getting
My
that.
décolletage.
We're getting that old chicken.
Is it décolletage? Is that part of a woman's neck? Is it the décolletage or something like
That's
that?
the breast area.
Is it maybe down to the breasts?
Yes, that's the bit that, when a lady's wearing a low-cut dress, you can see there.
Oh, yes.
It's her décolletage.
Décolletage. Yeah, well, we don't know. Yes. Full of energy. Yes, we are. We're still full of energy. Lots of energy. We're buzzing, raring to go.
Okay. Shall I call an ambulance?
Well, we've got to pretend, you see, that we are no different than we were 15 years ago. We're still full of energy, still raring to go, still excited about the world of English.
We've noticed that we're getting gizzard necks.
Well, I haven't noticed it. Well, I've noticed you, but not
Yours?
me.
Look at that.
No, nothing. Nothing at all.
What's happening to your neck?
Nothing. I'm having the operation next week.
Yes, but what about your neck?
I was waiting for that, Mr. Duncan. I was waiting for that.
Mr. Steve is having the chop next week.
I'm not.
He's having it all taken off.
Having the chop. Yes, if you have the chop, It means that you're being sacked, fired from your job at work.
Yes. Or having your willy cut off.
No, doesn't mean that at all. I still have enough left.
Apparently, someone's just said Mr. Steve and Mr. Duncan seem to be the same height. Mr. Duncan was taller.
Yes, you've shrunk, haven't
But
you, Mr. Duncan? You've shrunk.
Can I just reveal?
Let's move on, Mr. Duncan. Let's move on. What are we talking about today, Mr. Duncan?
Calm down. I can reveal that Mr. Steve...
I'm standing on a box. That's it. It's out there.
Mr. Steve is standing on a piece of wood.
I do stand on a piece of wood. That is correct.
There is a large piece of wood underneath Mr. Steve's feet.
Only because otherwise it doesn't look right on the screen.
Yes. And the fact that Steve used to cry about it.
Well, you don't want me like this, do you?
You were saying...
All the time.
You were saying, oh,
Hello,
I look so...
Mr. Duncan.
I look so small.
I'm standing on a small little elevated piece of material.
I am very tall.
Well, there's only a few inches between us.
Really? It's been a long time since there were a few inches between us.
Let's just say that. Well, I'm 5, nearly 5'10". I'm 5'9" and a half.
Okay, 5'10", 5'9".
And you're what? What are you? How tall are you?
I'm just over 6 foot.
Well, that's it. So I'm way above average for a man.
Nearly 184 centimetres. I'm a tall one.
Yes, centimetres. I don't know what 5'9.5" is in
Steve,
centimetres.
only talk about it if you know about it.
5.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5, 12. So there's three. There's probably, I would say,
Bye, viewers.
9 centimetres between us at
Okay.
the most.
Fantastic. That is so fantastic.
So what are we talking about today,
well,
Mr.
we've been.
Duncan?
What are we talking about?
Yes.
Have you just woken up? We're talking about 15 years on YouTube. Do you remember? Do you
What,
remember?
for the whole time? That's what all we're talking about.
Well, it's a pretty big thing. I've been doing this for 15 years. There are very few people on YouTube these days doing things on YouTube who've been on YouTube since 2006. 2006, the world was such a different place. There was no Twitter. There was no TikTok. There were no... What else am I...
Facebook?
There was no Facebook.
FaceTime?
No Facebook. No FaceTime.
Not that I'm on social media.
There was no... I suppose there was no iPhone. The iPhone.
15 years ago, no iPhone.
No iPhone. So you didn't even have iPhones.
Am I making scones, says Marshmallow. No. I didn't really think about preparing a special celebration for Mr. Duncan. Because 15 years, you don't really celebrate 15 years.
Well, you do.
Well, not really. You tend to... I mean, the milestones tend to be sort of 10 years or 20 years or 21.
It's normally every 5 years.
15.
So 5 years together, 10 years together, 15 years together. 20,
I mean, it's a milestone, 15 years, but it's not one that you normally celebrate, is it? 15.
You start doing something today, and then come back and tell me that you've been doing it for 15 years, and you'll realise how difficult it is. It's not easy.
Have you got words then today associated with celebration or anniversary or anything like that?
Nothing.
So you've prepared absolutely nothing today?
Well, I prepared that lovely video. The video of all the little clips.
I wasn't watching.
No, well,
I was
I know
looking at the live stream.
You're rarely watching anything that I'm doing.
How many centimetres tall did you say you were?
Nearly 184.
So I'm 176.53.
Yes.
According to MAPAC. So thank you for that.
Or, as I like to say, short.
Which I believe is above average height for a man in the UK.
Short, tall. But of course, one of the things
average height, taller than average height.
Yes, good. One of the things I like about being tall is I can walk around and dominate all of the neighbours around here. Like yesterday. We went out yesterday walking, didn't we? And we saw We saw our neighbour.
Sure, you should mention this, Mr. Duncan.
I'm going to mention it. I don't care.
Controversial.
It isn't controversial.
Well, you stop me saying things, and then when you want to say something controversial, it's fine.
Just no. What I'm saying is you don't sort of criticise people who are wealthy. You always criticise people who have little money or the same amount of money, and they will never sue you. So there is a good tip, everyone. Only slander and libel people who are poor.
Unless
they will. Unless what?
Unless they're tough and could come round and eke out their own form of justice.
Well,
by thumping you in the face.
You know, violence is not recognised by the British law. I think they would still be in trouble. See, then I could sue them.
Then you'd call the police, but then they would say to you, if you call the police, we will be even more violent towards you. So then you would not call the police because you were fearful.
Yes.
So I don't think you should be nasty to people unless you've got a good reason to be, because otherwise it could come back to bite you.
I do have a good reason.
Something comes back to bite you.
One of our neighbours has a dog. They have a dog that's so annoying, it barks all the time. And you know, I'm not a big fan of animals, pets, when people, human beings, don't know how to take care of them or control them. And yesterday we went out walking and we came face to face with the neighbours, and the dog was with them. And I said, "Hello, Barky."
You said that to the neighbour.
I said that to the dog. I didn't say it to the neighbours, don't forget. Don't forget, I wasn't saying it to the neighbours, I said it to the dog, because the dog is the one that barks, not the neighbours. The neighbours don't bark, but the dog does. And I said, "Hello, Barky." And they looked a bit embarrassed, didn't they? Because I think they know now they know that I am annoyed because of that dog barking all the time. But today, I noticed today that they seem to be making sure that the dog doesn't bark. So it worked. But one of the good things about being tall is I can intimidate people. I can go up to them and say, yeah, hello, yes, I'm really tall.
Yeah, they're really intimidated by you, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
By the way, Tomek keeps retracting his statements.
Okay, well that's not. Why is that interesting?
Well,
Just how about reading out some of the comments that are there?
Well, Tomek made a remark that he'd been watching you since October 2010. I think it was.
That's okay.
And yet he's now retracted that, and he thanks you for everything that you've done.
Well,
as have a lot of people.
He's clearly embarrassed to admit. A lot of people secretly watch me on YouTube. I am like their secret or their guilty pleasure. Do you have a guilty pleasure? Everyone has a guilty pleasure, something they enjoy doing, but they don't tell other people that they enjoy doing it. What?
No, Rosa, it was a different neighbour. Because the neighbour that I've cut the grass for, fancy remembering that, Rosa? Yes, I cut the grass of a neighbour. In fact, the other week, for the same neighbour, I spread moss killer and fertiliser on her lawn to try and improve its appearance.
Bye, viewers.
But she didn't want me to do it. She wanted me to do it secretly because she's got a gardener. But the gardener said not to do it, but she wanted to do it. So she was very strangely trying to prevent all signs of me doing it. But never mind. Anyway, that's a bit boring.
That was incredible.
Right, move on to something interesting.
Well, at least you're becoming aware.
What are we going to do for the next 45 minutes?
At least Steve is now becoming aware how boring he can be sometimes.
Because we are running out of people saying how wonderful you've been for the last 15 years. There's only so much people can say.
What do you want about? We can talk for hours. We don't need to prepare anything. You do realise for the whole of October I've been appearing on YouTube live with very little prepared, and I've just been talking and talking.
Admitting that.
What?
Well, you want to appear like you're a professional, Mr. Duncan. You don't want to give away your lax preparation.
What do you mean lax? It's all in here. I've been doing this for bloody 15 years. Everything now is up here. It's locked away inside this big skull.
You mean you've got nothing?
What do you mean nothing? Nothing. What do you want about?
Well, normally you've got words and we talk around them and we, things like that.
This. I might just end this live stream. What do you want? I don't know what. Just talk about things. Just talk.
Well, yeah, but you normally provide the subjects that we talk about.
Okay. But why are you drawing attention to it?
Because
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, if I go quiet, it's up to you, Mr. Duncan.
I'm ever so
to carry
sorry.
on.
But you can talk all the time. You should hear Mr. Steve when he's talking to his work colleagues on the phone. It's like this for maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Well, we're talking about something, aren't we, that we both know about?
Yes.
Usually the poor quality of it. Anyway, we won't go into that. I won't start criticising the company I work for.
No, it's probably a good idea. It's a very interesting way of handing in your notice.
No, Mohammed, we haven't been to India.
We haven't been anywhere.
I'd like to go. I mean, the furthest we've been to Malaysia, as people know.
Well, Malaysia is a long way away.
And you, of course, have been to China.
Well, you have.
And
Do you
I was
remember?
about to say I came to visit you.
Do you remember?
I came to visit you, but we haven't been to India. But we could go, couldn't we?
Yes. Well,
Very interesting.
India is nearer.
Imagine
India.
being able to have spicy curry every day. I'm going.
Except it isn't spicy.
Well, there's probably some spice in
Yeah.
it.
Indian curry is not the same as curry here in this country. It's a lot milder.
Although we don't know because we haven't been.
Well, I know it isn't.
I think it's different to the Indian restaurants that cater mainly for British tastes, which are for food which is a lot more fatty, and they like lots more spice, I think.
We've
but,
been to Malaysia so many times, and there are Indians living there from India, and their curries are not spicy. They're all mild. So we've been there. We know that.
Well, I wouldn't have said it was that mild. I wouldn't have said it was that mild. I mean, I went to a Thai restaurant and I couldn't finish the food.
But that's Thailand.
But no, it wasn't in Thailand. It was in Malaysia. I haven't been to Thailand.
Well, Thai food is bloody Thailand.
But I know. But I'm just. I don't know. But we shouldn't talk about things if we haven't got experience in it. We haven't been to India. We don't know.
But I do know. That's knowledge.
Okay.
You can know things. I know the size of the sun, but I've never been there.
How big is it then? How big's the sun?
Well, it's big. It's really big.
Yes.
I don't.
I'm going to read out one of Tomic's comments before he retracts it.
You are the only person I know who can draw attention to the things that you're not supposed to be drawing.
Well, you said you've been on all the last month and you haven't prepared anything. You said that yourself.
Yes, I said. Well, what I meant is I don't need to all the time, so I can stand here.
Anyway.
This is the most bizarre thing ever.
It's too late, Tomic, because I've read it. You keep putting comments on and then retracting them. Do I know how to use Microsoft Excel? Tomic said that at exactly 15:17.
Can I just say, Steve doesn't know how to copy and paste.
Of course I do. I'm very good at Excel, actually.
Yesterday, can I just tell you a story? Mr. Steve was trying to transfer some files, basically, just a basic transfer using a lead. And he got so upset. He was screaming.
I get upset because it annoys me because it never works properly.
He was screaming and shouting.
I wasn't screaming and shouting.
You were going mad.
I was going mad. I was losing my
Yes.
temper, yes.
Well,
because it didn't work. I thought I'd lost all the files. I mean, we were in a rush to get out.
That's screaming and shouting.
Yeah, I know.
But you just said you weren't.
Well, I mean, you're exaggerating a bit. But anyway, yes,
I'm not.
I am good at Excel.
Do I know you?
In answer to the question that Tomic asked at 15:17.
Okay.
On Sunday.
Steve,
What's the date today?
it's the bloody 31st.
31st of November.
Oh my! How do you get through life? How do you make it through
I'm
life?
fine.
How do you get through a day without just walking under a bus?
Manuel says, best wishes from one of your most loyal admirers in the world.
That's Manuel with his lovely. Can you see the picture though? I like the
Ooh.
picture.
Yes, but I can't make it bigger.
It looks like. Who does it look like?
I can't see it because without a magnifier. Because I've got an iPad in front of me.
Yeah, well, I've got
About
an
that big.
iPhone. It's smaller.
Okay. And so the little pictures at the side of the messages
The pictures.
are only about that big.
They're called icons.
So I can't really see. But from here, we've got long hair, have we?
Yes,
Yes.
but that's not them.
Who is it then?
Please
Can I
tell-
make it bigger?
No.
Oh, okay.
Every week you ask me that. You can't make. Oh my God! It's like.
But I can't really tell who that is.
Did your mother ever have you tested for?
Only once.
Yes. I think it needs. I think you need redoing. To be honest, I think you need retesting.
Are we actually going to teach anybody any English today?
We are. What the hell are you on about? This is English. You do realise those
Cow. Or holy cow, as somebody said earlier.
idiot.
Bah! Sheep. Mouse. Where's the tail?
Well, it's been good being with you for the past 15 years. I'm off now. I will be going to pack my suitcase.
Our nose is running.
It's the only thing that is. It's your brain certainly isn't.
There we go. That was being outside in the cold weather. Right, over to you, Mr. Duncan. It's your show.
I don't know why Fly Away is so angry. Why are you so angry, Fly Away?
What makes you think that Fly Away is angry?
Well, because of what he just wrote, or what they just wrote.
I don't know.
You didn't see? Okay.
What have we done to upset Fly Away?
I don't know. Why though? What's wrong?
Apologies if we've upset you. Don't know why.
No, don't apologise. Never apologise until you know why, or else you just come across like a simp. Oh, that's a good
A
word.
simp? What's a simp?
You don't know what a simp is?
No.
Oh, for God's sake! It's 2021, Mr. Steve. Everyone knows what a simp is.
Is it a bit like a wimp?
It is similar. A
Right.
simp is a man who will do anything for a woman. He will fall madly in love with her at first sight and then do anything. There are lots of these women on TikTok, and what they do is they cavort and roll around on the bed, and they're very good looking, and then they get lots of men, lots of desperate, sad men to send them money.
So if you're somebody who simpers, if you simper,
Yes.
then you're you're so lovely, aren't you? Oh, beautiful, yes.
Okay.
Oh, you're lovely, yes. If you simper, it means that you're sort of giving in all the
Yes,
time, aren't you?
yes.
And you're not being assertive.
That's it. Simp.
That's right.
So
that-
a simp is a man who just will do anything for any contact in any way with a woman, even if it's just through the internet.
There we go. So here's a question we can answer.
Okay.
Valentina says, please teach us the different pronunciation between ship. A ship is something that sails on the ocean, and a sheep
What are you doing?
is an animal covered in wool that eats grass.
Yes. And,
So, yes.
and sometimes Mr. Steve chases around the field in his Wellingtons.
What's that got to do with it? Of course, you could transport sheep on a ship from one country to another.
Yes.
They might do that from New Zealand to England. And now, of course, we've done a deal, haven't we, with America?
Have we?
A so-called Brexit success. A sort of a little tiny sliver of a trade deal. And we are now going to be selling lamb to America,
Oh, okay.
which of course lamb comes from sheep. You don't have to overpronounce the P, by the way.
No.
I'm just doing that for effect. Sheep. Because we've been banned. We haven't been able to we haven't been able to sell any meat products to America since the 1980s, apparently,
Okay.
because we had an outbreak of a disease in cows. I think it was it was because of mad cow disease, I think.
I think you might have it.
And
I think you might have mad cow disease.
and as a result of that, they have banned all sales of meat to the US from the UK. But that has now been retracted, taken back, taken away. And so we will be sending sheep on ships to the United States. They'll probably be dead.
Yeah, I was
It'll
going to
be
say.
the lamb that we send.
Okay.
So there we go. Thank you for that.
Is it lamb they're sending or sheep?
Flyaway is now retracting messages. So, oh no. Thank
What?
you, Lewis.
Do you just why do you comment on the things that you don't have to comment on?
I'm not sure. But,
Comment on the comments, the actual real comments.
Yes, sucker, Valentin. Yes, a bit of a sucker.
A sucker is a fool.
Somebody somebody who's easily sort of persuaded and might do things against their will.
No, it's a person who's easily fooled.
Yes.
Not
So-
doing things against their will. I don't think that's sucker.
It looks like Flyaway has flown away
Sorry,
because thankfully to
English
Lewis,
teacher, and also Mr. Steve. Can I just point that out? So,
oh no, only been timed out for 300 seconds. So
Okay,
we'd
you
still
don't-
like to know why
You don't have to tell us that.
Flyaway was so upset.
Yes,
But he has now flown away
Yeah.
thanks to Lewis.
Okay.
Did you see that, my little play on words there,
No.
Mr. Duncan?
No, not at all.
Well, if you fly away,
Yeah.
it means you go away,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Okay.
So fly away
So how is that a play
has
on
flown
word?
away.
What?
Well, because that fly away is
Steve.
Stephen's name.
Yes. Okay. Steve, you're starting to come across as, I don't want to say retard.
Rosa said the same thing as me. Thank you, Rosa.
Nora.
But anyway, yes. Back to we didn't read the messages, so fine. We're not affected by it. Not that we would be.
What?
Has
Has happened to you today?
Drinking too much. Oh, I think they're comparing Flyaway to our old friend who doesn't come on anymore from Russia.
Okay.
They
What
could
are
be
you-
one and the
what-
same, of
sorry,
course.
What the hell are you talking about?
Well, the viewers know.
Are you all right? Are
I'm
you,
fine.
Are you having a breakdown?
Shall I have a time out, shall I?
I think you need a time out. I think you need, I don't know what you need. Maybe therapy.
Well, it's your anniversary, Mr. Duncan. I'm excited.
Yes. Are you sure that isn't vodka you're drinking?
Oh, you're talking about Mr. Duncan.
No, it's not vodka. He's perfectly sober. That's what he sounds like normally.
Sober as a judge.
Okay,
That's
that's
the
good.
expression they use. If you say if somebody accuses you of drinking,
No one says that anymore.
they do. If somebody accuses you of being drinking and you haven't been, you say, "I'm as sober as a judge," because you assume that a judge would never be inebriated. Inebriated means you've been drinking alcohol while he was on the bench in court.
Is that a park bench?
I'm exhausted.
You're exhausting me. I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm going to show this to your mother just to let her know that what a weirdo her son actually is. Because he is.
We're not ignoring you, Mohammed. I've answered your question already. We haven't been to India.
We have not been to India.
I answered your question. You
No.
can't have been listening.
But then Steve started going on about curry, and he was just
Yes,
coming out with rubbish.
I said I'd like to go because I said I had this conversation about wanting to go because of wanting to eat curry all the time because I
Yes.
love curry.
Yes, yes.
And then we had that argument about
Please,
spicy food. So
please,
I've already commented.
Can we not relive that? I'm already trying to flush it out of my memory.
Saeed, we're upsetting people today. That's two people. Saeed's upset as well, apparently. We've been accused of ignoring Saeed. But
Well,
We can't read everything.
We can't read everything. We
And
can't.
I can't see any comment from Saeed.
Okay, Steve. It does-
Repeat it.
Okay,
and we will
just
read
keep
it
going. Keep going.
See,
If
this
you
is
want.
what happens when there's no structure. It just goes nuts.
Well, this is certainly turning out to be memorable. I don't know what's wrong with you today. I really actually worry about you sometimes.
Absolutely fine. I can't see that my behaviour is in any way abnormal. Tape.
Yeah.
I know what you want to do with that, Mr. Duncan. You want to put it across my face
No,
to stop me talking.
I was just going to. I was just going to push the roll into your mouth.
Okay,
There's
right.
there's not enough tape there to cover your mouth. Oh, dear.
What's next, Mr. Duncan?
What do you mean, what's next? Why do you keep saying what's next? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, by the way, the time is different, but it's not our fault because the clocks have gone back 1 hour, you see? 1 hour, they've gone back. So at this time of year, we put the clocks back 1 hour, and then just before summer, we put it forward again. I know a lot of people say, what a stupid idea, and I agree. Just keep it the same. 1 hour of daylight makes very little difference, to be honest.
It just means that when we wake up in the morning, it's light.
But why? Why would you want it to be light in the morning?
It's for the farmers, isn't it? So that they don't have to get up so early in the morning.
What?
No, it means they can get up earlier.
What?
Because there's more light in the morning for them when the clocks go back.
What do you mean the farmers won't be able to find their way across their fields if it's too dark?
Well, in olden days, in days gone by,
Olden days, when?
well, 50 years ago.
50 years ago is not old. That's the 1970s.
I know, but what I'm referring to, Mr. Duncan, is listen to me.
The olden days.
Listen to me first. Listen to what I've got to
The
say.
1970s.
The clocks go back in the winter to help the farmers because otherwise, so it's getting light at the moment at around, before the clocks went back, at around sort of 6:30 in the morning. Now it will get light at 5 in the morning, which means that the farmers have an extra hour to be able to, extra hours light.
Yes.
Because previously, I mean, nowadays it doesn't matter because modern machinery, farm machinery, probably got very powerful, strong lights on them.
We've had electricity and steam for
I
nearly
know, but 50 years ago, the
Yes,
tractors didn't really have lights on them and they couldn't work in the dark, but now they can. So that's why the clocks went back to help the farmers. We don't really... Why don't you understand this, Mr. Duncan?
In the 1970s, we didn't have lights.
No, well, I don't think farmers had strong lights on their tractors.
You don't need strong lights, just lights.
Well, I don't know, but that's the reason why.
50 years
The
ago.
reason we do it. Well, 100 years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know when the clocks first started going back. I don't know when that happened.
No.
Maybe I think it was the 1960s.
Yeah, just
50s or 60s.
just don't guess.
Maybe in the 50s. I don't know, but anyway, it's done to help the farmers. But unfortunately, it means it gets dark very early in the evening. So soon it will be dark at 4 o'clock,
Yes.
4 p.m. Otherwise, because it previously wouldn't have got dark until 5. So when you're coming home
How
from
does that
work,
help?
it's dark
So it's getting dark earlier. How does
in
that,
the evening
How does that help the farmers? But
because you're helping them in the morning.
I know, but maybe the farmers want to go out in the afternoon.
Well, they don't. They want to go in early in the morning, get all the work done,
No.
and then go home in the evening.
That's not true.
That is why it was done.
I've seen farmers. I've seen farmers in the afternoon doing their work.
Yeah, some of them, well, they do. Oh, Mr. Duncan, you're just being annoying.
I'm not.
I'm going to walk off in a minute. I'm going to flounce off. Flounce. I'm going to flounce off.
Yes.
And we're not reading them. We're not keeping up to date with the live chat.
You've got it in front of you.
Well, you talk. I'll read this.
Just read the comments. It's not that difficult. You just look at the iPad and then just read the comments.
How am I supposed to entertain? I can't do both at the same time. Mr.
Trust
Duncan.
me, you haven't started yet.
Okay.
We're still waiting for you to entertain us.
A Marshmallow's been watching you for a year, and wouldn't miss this anniversary for anything.
But after today, no longer.
Tim's asking, where is Mr. I nearly said Bojangles then. That's from a song.
Where is Mr. Bojangles?
Who was that singer that sang that song?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
You brought it up, not me.
Oh, what's his name? Black singer from America, 1950s, 60s. He was in the Rat Pack.
Does it matter that he's black?
No, I'm just saying that just so that I'm trying to help you identify the singer. Oh, I can't remember his name now. Had a very good voice. But anyway, but I'm Mr. What was the name of your monkey?
I'm not sure if we need an ambulance.
Or was it gorilla?
I'm not sure if we need an ambulance or a priest to come in, exorcise, whatever. I think it's Halloween. You see, I think Mr. Steve has been possessed by some otherworldly spirit.
But yes, but what's the name of your? It's Mr. What? The name of your monkey puppet?
What? I know about the singer.
No. Tom asked, "Where is your monkey?"
I'm getting confused.
You know you're.
Get confused.
You've got,
what are you talking about?
You've got a monkey.
You're talking about a singer.
Because I couldn't remember his name. What's the name of your puppet, Mr. Duncan?
What's he trying to remember? I don't know what's
Cut. Oh,
what?
Yeah, because I thought his name was Mr. Bojangles, but that's a song. That's a song that was sung by... I can't remember his name.
But what's going to...
Because I was trying to remember the name of... What's the name of your monkey puppet that's on your videos? You see, it's not me that's going mad, it's Mr. Duncan.
I just didn't know where you were going then.
That is where I'm going. Oh, you made me cry.
Oh, you mean Sammy Davis Jr.?
That's who sung Mr. Bojangles, but
Okay.
what's the name of your monkey puppet? That's what I'm trying to get to, Mr. Duncan.
I thought you were being racist.
Of course I wasn't being racist. Just, what's his name? Mr. What's his name? Oh, somebody on there. Lomax. Mr. Lomax. Thank you. Thank you, Vitas. Thank you, Vitas.
I completely lost. I lost whatever that was. Then I didn't know what you were on about.
Mr. Lomax, thank you, Vitas. You see, it's not me. It's Mr. Duncan. He's the one losing his mind.
I thought no, because you weren't being clear in what you were saying. 1 minute you were on about...
I kept saying, what's the name of your monkey puppet?
Yes, and then you kept on about Mr. Bojangles.
Yes, because I thought his name was Mr. Bojangles.
But it isn't.
I know it isn't. But then I thought, well, what's the name of the singer? And it was Sammy Davis Jr., but I couldn't remember that. Anyway, let's move on.
Yes.
I think we've caused a bit of hilarity.
I'm not sure if it's hilarity.
That's it.
I think we might lose... this might be the day my channel disappears.
My husband is a priest.
I don't know where you went then.
Tatiana has inserted that comment in the middle of all this hilarity.
It wasn't.
Maybe I need the help of a priest.
I was so confused by what you were on about then.
Maybe I need to be exercised. And I don't mean running up and down the hill.
No,
Exorcised.
I think you need a priest.
I know. Well, that's it. You see, I'm going to go to Tatiana's husband.
Yes.
Who will be able to help me out in all matters.
Your husband is a priest.
That's what Tatiana said there.
I bet he's well blessed.
Very funny. That's a joke. That's a joke for your anniversary. Is it 15 years? Is it your anniversary today?
It is apparently.
You see, that's why I'm going slightly mad.
I was so confused then.
Where is Mr. Lomax now?
I thought you were going into sort of a moment of time that was just.
No, I just couldn't remember the name of Mr. Lomax. I called him Mr. Bojangles.
Yes.
Because there is a song
By.
Sammy Davis Jr.
But
called Mr. Bojangles.
that's it.
So I got that mixed up with the actual name, which was Mr. Lomax, but then I couldn't remember the name of the sing. Oh, this is exhausting. Do I have to explain it, Mr. Duncan? It's a good job we rehearsed this, isn't it?
We might have to explain this to a judge.
Don't be silly. That's fine. It's fine. Where is Mr. Lomax? Everyone is asking, where is Mr. Lomax? You see, we've got a cow here. We've got a sheep. Now we need the monkey.
Mr. Lomax is not here.
Is he a monkey, though?
What do you mean? Is he a monkey?
Or is he a gorilla?
It's not a gorilla. What the hell are you on about? It's a chimpanzee.
There we go, a chimpanzee. Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Lomax
Yes.
is a chimpanzee. Yes. Without a tail. That is the difference, you see.
Yes.
The monkeys have tails.
Duong Nugent is going bye-bye because it's very late
I might
in Vietnam. I'm guessing Vietnam.
I might be going as well.
I'm going slightly mad,
You are.
says Victoria. Song by Queen.
Okay.
Everybody liked Mr. Lomax and they want to see him back.
Great.
An Anglican priest, Tatiana. I think we need a bit of reverence on the show.
Yes.
If you have reverence, what does that mean,
Oh,
Mr.
well, you
Duncan?
brought it up. Come on, Mr. Steve.
Well, you know.
Oh.
That just means you have a bit of decorum, I would say.
Doesn't
You
it?
just- everything is as it should be.
Yes. Pious.
I can't remember the word I just used. Reverence. Yes, it means that
What?
you're not being nasty. Just means that you're appreciating what's happening, and you haven't got people making nasty comments.
Yes.
Not that they are really not there. And yes, reverence. It's a good word. That is. It means that you're orderly. Help me, Mr. Duncan. You're the English teacher.
Well, I just said. Yes, you're pious. You are doing something in a way that's respectable.
Respectful way. That's it.
Yes.
Respectful.
Yes.
That's what we want.
English teacher, 15 years on YouTube.
Mash-
Mr. Steve, I have no idea what Mr. Steve is.
Marshmallow has just spotted a van.
Yeah, a white one.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
I think it's a white van.
A white van.
It's come to take you to the local madhouse.
If you say in England, I don't know about other countries, we need to send for a white van, it means you're sending for, that means a van that's going to take you to a certain facility because you've gone mad.
A certain facility.
Going to take you to a madhouse.
Yeah, a madhouse.
Going to take you to, somewhere to have your head looked at.
Yeah.
A psychiatric unit.
Yes.
And they always say they'll send a white van to pick you up
Okay.
because,
think-
no one knows what's inside. You're
I
going
think-
away unseen.
I think we've got the joke.
Well, I'm just explaining it.
Can you believe that we used to have asylums? We used to call them mental asylums, and during Victorian times, they used to actually do tours of the madhouses. Can you believe that? Isn't that awful? That is just a terrible thing. The Victorians, they used to open the mental asylums, and then they would let people, the public, tour around and watch all the crazy people. That's awful, isn't it? Isn't that awful? Of course, nowadays, we just do it on television instead. We have reality TV shows where basically we do the same thing. It's basically a kind of Victorian, I suppose the word freak show. I don't want to use that loosely, but yeah, it's a bit like that.
A bit like a circus.
When you watch television nowadays, it's a bit like a freak show.
That's true.
It's people that are just
Careful what you're saying.
just getting onto television. It's like the
Or
side
YouTube.
the side shows. Well, YouTube is just as bad.
Is this a freak show?
This is not a freak show, no. We
But you are right, yes, it's spectacle on television, isn't it? What can shock people the most?
Yes.
There's always programs about overweight people trying to lose weight, and it's just basically they're taking the fun out of
Yes.
taking the mickey,
Well,
making a joke of
yes.
these poor people.
Well, they're exploiting
who are
them.
struggling, exploiting them, yes.
That's the word.
But it's just a modern day version of, as you say, going to watch people in the lunatic asylums.
Yes. Or just having people who are unfortunate and they're being used for entertainment. So I don't like the way in which television nowadays exploits people's mental illness. So for example, people who collect things and put them into their house, they hoard.
Yes.
So that actually is a mental illness. But people are being exploited. Television programs, television producers are making that into entertainment.
Yes,
For
we
us
go
to-
around the show, the houses of people who have got a mental problem in that they cannot stop hoarding things. And it's the same, there's a program called Undateables as
Okay.
well, where they take people who, for whatever reason,
Sorry.
have not managed to get a partner,
Okay.
and then they get some beautiful model
Not always.
and yeah, let's just say the people who are deemed as undateables have certain deficiencies, maybe in the looks department, and
But it's not because they're
or personality, but they're, it's just sort of people are watching it and laughing. It's very very cruel and unkind.
okay.
A bit like watching us, really.
Yes. This is the ultimate freak show.
Well, I did say that earlier.
Watching us too.
Lots of birds behind us as well, says Olga, flying in the high, strong winds, no doubt.
Well, that's what birds do. They're not doing anything unusual. They do fly.
Yeah, but it's difficult in strong winds, particularly for the small birds. Is Mr. Lomax still alive?
Is he still alive?
Yes.
I assume so.
We haven't seen him for a while.
Yes.
I
la-
think he's
the-
gone back to the jungle.
The last time I saw him, I had my hand up his bum.
There's no answer to that. Yes, he lives in the forests behind us and occasionally comes to visit. When he's run out of nuts, we put some out for him.
Nuts.
And
So you're telling me that chimpanzees eat nuts?
I think some of them do.
Okay.
What do chimpanzees eat? I think they eat meat, don't they? Although there is a particular...
Meat? What? They're having steaks?
I don't mean
Sort of bacon and eggs. for
barbecues.
What the? What? What?
What do I think they do eat meat, as in animal and as in, but there is a particular type of monkey
As in meat.
that is purely vegetarian, and we've seen this on television on one of the wildlife programs.
Don't bring me into it.
And there's a particular species of monkey that only eats vegetation. And basically, all it's got time to do all day is eat, because you have to eat a lot of vegetable matter to get enough energy,
Yes.
which is why cows and sheep constantly are eating. So they have to spend like 95% of their day looking for food.
We had this conversation last Sunday.
Did we?
Yes, exactly the same conversation. It's not a repeat, by the way. You're not watching a repeat of last week. It's just Mr. Steve repeating himself.
Yes, well, there we go, yes. Lewis mentioned earlier that in Portugal, when Portugal joined the EU, going back to when we were discussing the clocks changing, going back as they just have done,
To the olden days,
yes,
the 1970s.
that it was a bit annoying by the sounds of it, Lewis, that when in Portugal, when Portugal joined the EU, the first thing they did was to put the country on European hours or time, and of course they do move their clocks around like we do.
I move mine around. I like to move my clock. Sometimes I have it in the kitchen and sometimes I have it in the bathroom.
So it does mean that, for example, children walking to school might be coming home when it's dark or going out when it's dark, whereas previously they wouldn't.
Now it's children.
Well, yes.
Well, maybe the farmers can show them the way. I imagine the streets are full of farmers and children.
Yes. How much time is this live stream going on for, says Mohammed?
Too long.
It's already gone on far too long.
Too long.
Another 10 minutes. Can you bear with us for another 10 minutes?
Can you bear this?
Can you? If you bearing something, it means you're suffering, doesn't it? You're putting up with it.
That's it. You're able to withstand something.
Yes. Can you?
English teacher, Mr. Steve.
Well, there are many different synonyms, aren't there, for different words?
You mean definitions?
Yes, exactly, yes. Good, yeah. Portugal is to the west, that's right, yes. Oh, blimey, I'm exhausted, Mr. Duncan. We haven't got any cakes to eat. I've got you nothing for your 15-year celebration.
Michael says, why aren't you reading the live chat?
I am reading them, yes.
In the Netherlands, The Undateables was a programme where people with disabilities find each other.
That's right, yes.
It's not quite the same as what Steve was saying. Steve seemed to hint that it was just ugly people.
It is often in this country.
Well, yeah, but ugliness isn't a disability, but some people think it should be. When you think about it, Steve, if you are good looking and attractive and handsome,
yes,
I think you have an easier life. But if you are ugly, really, really, really ugly, like, your face is really, really ugly, maybe we could say that is also a disability, because your life might be harder. I mean, look at me. I mean, I was so ugly, my mother used to stick the milk bottle when I was a baby in the wrong end.
The thing is, though, I've read quite a lot I've read sort of biographies of beautiful models.
Okay, who?
I don't want to name any names. I can't think of the people, but I've
Does
read
it know?
that. No, I can't remember the name. It was just a television program I was watching.
A book on the television.
I can't remember, but I've read anyway. Listen to me, Mr. Duncan. You're being very disruptive.
I'm not. I just don't know what
that if you are really, really attractive, like so attractive you can be a model or a film star, then what happens is that you tend to quite often rely on your looks to get success in life.
Okay.
Because, if you're beautiful and attractive, you'll get the model shoots, the magazine pin-ups.
What's a model shoot?
And you'll get the parts in movies and things like that, because your beauty or your handsomeness is getting you that part. But then when you get older and your looks fade, then what have you got left? You can't be, many a film star has gone into depression when they get older, because they can no longer play the part of the beautiful woman or man on the screen. And so what happens? Well, you either get very depressed and fade away and die, or you then have to delve into yourself, like people who haven't been born with great looks have had to do that early on, and then find what your other talents are and develop these other talents for you to then move on and be successful in other ways. And I read this about a model. She was very attractive. It was in magazine covers and everything.
Magazine covers?
On magazine covers.
Just
but
on
then
the front?
On Vogue, all of them.
On Vogue?
Is it Vogue? What's that? What was that?
I don't know what you're on about.
Anyway, yes, and then when her modelling career ended because her looks were fading, she then said, well, I've relied on my looks for 10 years, and now I've had to look into myself for other talents and develop those. Whereas, of course, if you were never attractive in the first place, then you would have developed these talents earlier on. That is the point I'm making.
But my point was just people would just judge you because I think human beings can be quite shallow. And if a person is looking for, I don't know, maybe a partner for their life, for their life partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, you see, so you might go, oh, you never hear anyone say, I'm looking for a girl with a face like the back of a bus. You never say that. You never hear anyone say that. They always say, I want my future wife to be good looking or attractive. You see?
Beauty is in the hands and the eyes of the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
It can be in the hands if you want.
Well, that's an expression, isn't it? It means that
Well, one of them
what
is.
some people see as attractive isn't, sometimes personality. If you're going to live with someone from a long period of time, because I've had relationships with spectacularly attractive people because, of course, I attract that sort of person, but because it turns out that that's all they think about is their looks and their attractiveness, and there's no substance to that person quite often.
But you do have to pay them afterwards
because they're all just thinking about themselves and how beautiful they are, and they think they don't have to make any effort in the relationship because they could just get somebody else tomorrow. They don't make any effort sometimes, really attractive people. But then, of course, I know attractive people who have had a very hard time, but particularly women, because men are always hitting on them. So they're
hitting them?
Not physically. If you hit on somebody, it means you're chatting them up.
Oh, I see.
Trying to have sex with them.
So they're chat.
Yes, but quite often women do find that if they are really attractive, if they have all the attributes of a very attractive woman, then they will attract a lot of attention from men, which at first may seem wonderful, but then after a while becomes, a burden, a problem, because they're sick to death of men constantly chatting them up all the time.
So you're saying that women become annoyed by the attention from men because they are really attractive?
Sometimes, yes, because if they're too attractive, then they're always going to have men after them, and that can become a problem. Whereas, maybe for a man as well, I don't know.
So clearly you've never had that problem then?
Never.
No,
never, exactly.
No one's chasing you around the streets?
Not anymore, not anymore.
Or ever?
I never was, right, yes. Where is the cake? Everyone's saying, where is the cake? I haven't got a cake.
There is no cake.
No cake.
No cake.
Beauty is in the hands of the plastic surgeon. Yes, Mapak, that's very funny. Don't judge a book by its cover. Exactly. Because if you're with somebody for a long period of time, if you're really lucky, you'll find somebody who's spectacularly... very few people have got it all, have they? When I say got it all, very few people are really attractive, intelligent, good personality, haven't got a big ego that's always getting in the way. Very few people have got it all. Most people, some people are either very attractive but maybe not very intelligent, or they're very intelligent but not very attractive, or very few people have got all the things that you would want.
If you're really unlucky, you'll be Mr. Steve that has none of those things at all.
Well, you see, and I've got a friend, and whose name will remain nameless.
Is this the mad one?
No, we won't. Don't say anything, Mr. Duncan. Shush. Who has all his life been looking for the perfect girl.
It is the crazy one.
The perfect girl. And he's always said to me all the way through, I've known him for 40 years, this is what I want in a girl. She's got to be attractive, intelligent, have a good job. He's got a list of things that he wants this person to be. And guess what? 40 years later, he's never found that person.
No.
Because that person doesn't exist. And if they did, they wouldn't have found him attractive anyway.
And he is nuts.
Because if you looking for somebody who's intelligent, got a good job, all those things, you've got to match that person. You've got to be able to match up to that person in what they're doing. They're not going to be interested in you if you're not you haven't got a good job, and you're not attractive. So it's very sad. All his life he's been looking for this perfect girl, and she's never appeared, because even if she did, he wouldn't be good enough for her.
No. But he is also nuts. That doesn't help.
Anyway.
Being completely mad, unfortunately, is not an attractive part of a person's personality. I'll be honest with you. Definitely.
Well, you were right, Mr. Duncan. We have managed to carry on talking.
Yes, of course.
For a whole 2 hours.
Yes, you're the one that kept saying we couldn't, and I knew we could. I don't know why you kept saying we couldn't. I can stand here. Do you know what? I could stand here for another hour without Mr. Steve and talk.
You're just showing off.
No,
showing off.
I'm not showing off. There's no showing off. It's just that's what my job is. That's what I have to do. That's how I earn my pennies. Literally pennies.
Yes, exactly. If you're going to live with somebody for a long period of time, then when the beauty wears off, when they become older, then you want something else that was also there to be attracted to, like the personality, kindness, good morals, that sort of thing.
Yes.
So where did I go wrong? I don't know.
Where did you go wrong? Where did I go wrong?
Exactly, yes. Yes, I mean, I have gone out with very attractive people, but they were very boring. Just thought of themselves all the time. Egocentric. What's the word if someone has pictures? And I went out with one particular person, but when I went round to their house, they had pictures of themselves all over the place.
Yeah.
Of themselves.
Yes.
Narcissistic.
Yes.
That's the word I'm looking for.
The problem is, it was the same picture.
They look in the mirror and say, "Oh, don't I look beautiful?" You know, I mean, you don't want to go out with somebody like that, because you'll never be good enough for them.
Welcome to another edition of Mr. Steve's Inner Monologue. This is like the voices that you have in your head all the time coming out. They're manifesting themselves.
This hour and a half is therapy for me.
Yes. And after this hour and a half, I will need therapy.
Well, there's been no more comments from Tomek, and if there have been, I haven't seen them.
Well, there are other people on there.
I know, but it's yes. But anyway, right, yes, okay, right. So it's 1602 here.
That was a good year. That was just after the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages were coming to an end. 1602. I think the highlight of today is Mr. Steve saying that 50 years ago was the olden days, when the 1970s.
But people say that, don't they? I mean, young people now think of 50 years. I mean, it's if a young person now. I mean, for example, at work now. So there's now an age difference, because I've been doing the same job for a long time. Then young people coming through now are in their sort of mid-20s.
Yes, that's normal.
Yes, I know, but I used to be that person.
Well, everyone was.
And now I'm having conversations with them about things. For example, I said to somebody the other day, we were having a conversation, and I happened to mention, that looks like a traction engine.
Okay.
A traction engine. And this person said, "What's a traction engine?"
But it is a weird thing to say anyway.
Well, there was one there, you see. We were going on a team visit.
Yes.
And I said, "Oh, look, there's a traction engine." And she said, "What's a traction engine?" And I thought, wow, I think everybody would have known what that was 40 years ago. And now, of course, there's so much that people have to know now, young people. I mean, compared to when we grew up, there's a lot more that people have to know, which means a lot of the knowledge that you and I were taught, there's no time to teach it, because they have to know about all this new stuff that's come along since we were born.
Well, they're not going to know everything that's ever happened.
I know, but that's it, you see. This just shows you what's dropped out of the curriculum.
Well, no one
over the years.
No one says traction engine. do you still call cars automobiles? That's a nice automobile. You talk like you're from the 1920s. So that's probably the reason why, Steve.
I know, but you think that that person would know what that thing was?
Yes.
Uh,
But no one says traction. No one says traction engine, and no one says automobile.
pumpkin soup. No, it's a MAPAC. Oh, here we go. A MAPAC. It's not an attraction engine. It's a traction.
Yeah.
TRACTION. I think, is that correct? Let me just.
Yes, well, that's where the word tractor comes from. So a tractor is just something that pulls using traction.
Yeah, traction engine, but they were traditionally sort of steam powered
Yes. Traction is just
in the olden days.
traction is just the force of something being pulled.
Yeah, well,
or
I'm just
pushed.
saying that's what it. So just take off. Yes, a traction engine.
Yes, I can see why, because it does sound like it. Sometimes when you say a word with another letter in front,
That's it, Valentina.
It does sound like another word. So, traction engine. There we go.
Tomek's wife is cooking pumpkin soup. Well, you better retract that statement because that could come back to bite you in years to come. That's a very controversial statement.
Yes.
You don't want that there on the live chat forever.
In the future, pumpkin will be a racist term.
Why?
I don't know. Well, in the future, I don't know. I'm not a soothsayer.
Well, you say to somebody who's attractive, to somebody that you're very fond of, hello, my little pumpkin, don't
Yes.
you?
No, but
You can say that.
I thought you were making a joke, you see, because people often type or write things on the internet and then they forget all about it. And then years later, someone finds it and they discover that that person said something quite inappropriate.
I just realised Tomek says my wife. I thought. Never mind.
Sorry?
It's all right. I'm just upset now.
Tomek?
It's.
Well, I don't remember you... What?
No, that's all right. It's all right. Nothing. I'm joking.
What?
I thought we had a little, thing going.
You and Tomek?
Yes, a little,
When?
appreciation.
I don't remember that ever.
I'm joking.
I know,
Well,
but
no,
It doesn't make sense.
I'm just joking. Pumpkin. Yes, you say to somebody that you're attracted to, don't you? That's you're very dear to you. You're very fond of them. You say, "Hello, my pumpkin," don't you? I mean, I might, a husband will say that. I don't think they say it anymore. But I mean, when you think about the shape of a pumpkin, it's probably quite an abusive comment to make if a man was saying it to his wife. "Hello, my little pumpkin."
Yes, but I don't think it's offensive. My joke was that maybe in the future it will be.
Yes.
Because every word, when you think about it, every word that exists could, at some point, be offensive in the future.
But that is, I don't know if people have heard of that, but that is a term that's been used. A
Yeah.
man to his wife.
Yeah.
"Hello, my pumpkin."
You've said that.
Yeah.
Why are you repeating it?
But I'm wondering why. Is it because a pumpkins are sort of fat and round? So, I mean...
And orange.
An orange, yes. But, I mean...
So what are you saying? Your wife.
soft.
You're saying your wife is fat, round, and orange,
I know.
like an Oompa Loompa.
Thinking about it now, it's quite offensive. Anyway, Mr. Duncan...
Well, Vittoria said that I thought Pedro Belmont was in your heart.
That's true, yes.
So, but I've never heard you ever mention the fact that you are attracted to Tomek.
No, it's just a joke. It's just a
Yes.
joke. That's all. It's this is all just a joke. Well, I mean, it's not. No, I don't want to upset anyone.
Well, now Tomek wants to find out if you do have something going. He's saying, do we have something?
I just thought we had,
Yeah.
with Pedro as well. I thought that we had a nice little sort of threesome
It's
going.
going to be a very crowded
You,
bed.
Pedro and Tom.
That bed is just going to... You're going to need extra strong springs on your bed, Mr. Steve.
Well,
with,
Tomek's made comments before. He said that I wouldn't find him attractive because he wasn't physically attractive.
with all those people
But I remember him saying he would make up for it in sort of intelligence and personality.
Okay.
I remember that.
You're going to need very strong springs on your bed. So, no, I haven't received anything from YouTube for my 15th anniversary,
I thought you'd pick up on that.
which is today. Nothing. Not a message. Nothing. Not even a thumbs up from YouTube. Nothing. No play button. I've never had a play button, ever. Everyone else is getting them just for breaking wind. And I don't get them for 15 years.
Disgraceful.
It's disgraceful. It is. Disgraceful, YouTube.
Right, are we going, Mr. Duncan, or are you staying on for another hour?
I think I'm just going to stay here for 15 hours.
It's getting dark, of course, because the clocks have gone back.
Yes.
So it's now 4 o'clock and it's starting to get dark.
So all the farmers at the moment...
They're racing home.
Yes, I'm going to shout out the window now and tell all the farmers that it's getting dark.
Get home quickly.
Perhaps they've forgotten to turn their clock back.
They don't want to be out late in the fields when it's dark because
No.
all the wolves and the bears will come out of the forest and attack them.
Yeah. The only problem is we don't have wolves or bears.
No. We killed them all off about 200 years ago.
200? I think you'll find it's a bit further back than that.
It might be, but it's in the olden days.
In the olden days, what, the 1970s?
Yes, we used to have bears and wolves, and we killed them all.
In the 1970s, we used to have bears and wolves.
Not in the 1970s, and maybe in the 1770s.
People would go out.
Or the 1870s.
People would go out to do their shopping, and then a giant bear would drag them down the high street.
Well, it used to be very dangerous. I was reading about, 400 or 500 years ago.
Did it?
Or more, because the United Kingdom was covered in, it was basically all forest.
Yes.
And it was a very dangerous place to be. People
Yes.
would often get attacked by wild animals in the forests.
A tree might fall on you.
And but we killed all the wild animals off,
Yes.
which is why we often see or get comments from people when they see you filming out in the woods.
Yes.
They say, "Oh, Mr. Duncan, is it dangerous? Don't you worry about being attacked?" Well, you can't be in the UK because there are no wild animals that can attack you.
There are a lot of flashers.
That's true.
Yes.
Yes.
And other unsavoury characters.
Yes, very true.
But no wolves.
But
and
we
no-
don't know when the wolves were killed. It's a few hundred years ago.
It's a while ago.
It's a while ago.
It's before the 1970s.
Because we're a small island and it was very easy for us to kill them all off.
Yeah.
And thus, we've got nothing would attack you, would it? Only humans would attack you if you were wandering through a forest late at night.
Yes.
You might trip over on a branch and break your ankle.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't get attacked by an animal, would you?
It might fall down a badger's hole.
Yeah, where there's no sort of doubt. Exactly right. So that's it, Mr. Duncan.
I've never been in a badger's hole, ever, despite the rumours. Is that it, Steve? Are you going?
Well, it's 12 minutes past.
I was thinking of just staying on for.
4.
I might stay on for 15 hours to celebrate 15 years. You see, so I could stay on here. You go and do something else, and then come back later, and then we'll just carry on talking for another. Another 13 hours.
Yes, Tom.
I don't think I could do that.
Do you have people remember what's going on in our lives? It's lovely.
Is there something going on in our lives?
The bakery is still shut.
It is. It's gone.
And it looks like we went past it, but we'd heard a rumour that another shop had taken it over and was going to reopen it as a bakery.
It's
But we
not.
went past it yesterday, and they've cleared it all out inside. All the counters are gone.
It's not going to reopen.
Unless they were going to refurbish it, but I doubt that because it didn't need refurbishing.
No.
So I think it's gone. We've
What it-
moved on.
What it does need is some bread inside the shop so we can buy some. That's what it actually needs.
Yes. Lewis is going. Bye-bye, Lewis.
Not the only one.
Monicia is going. Marwa is going. Lots of people are going, so we may as well go as well.
Well, it's because it's much later in some countries.
Yes, because, exactly.
And other people probably are preparing their lunch. So I would imagine if you are in South America, for example, you are in the morning and you are preparing your Sunday dinner or your Sunday lunch. And in Asia, they are ahead of us, and it's probably nearly midnight. So, yeah.
Well done for staying on as long as you have. I hope you have found today's lesson enjoyable.
Yes.
Entertaining even.
15 years I've been doing
I think
this.
we know, Mr. Duncan. I think you have driven that point home.
I've been doing this.
If you drive a point home, it means that you really emphasize it. A bit like driving in a nail. If you drive, I want to drive that point home. That means you want to really make sure everybody knows definitely what you're saying. You emphasize it as much as you can.
I want to drive my fist somewhere.
Well, this is an English teaching channel. We've got
Yes.
to get some English teaching in.
It's very good, Mr.
Can't
Steve.
just be pure entertainment.
You're getting better. Much better.
Right, I'll go and put the kettle on.
Yes, it'll suit you. It'll balance quite nicely on your head. And yes, we will see you. Well, I will see you on Wednesday. I'm back on Wednesday with my normal, whatever that is, my normal live stream. Thank you for joining me today. We've been celebrating the 15th anniversary. I still can't believe that I've been doing this for 15 years.
How many years, Mr. Duncan? How many? I didn't hear you.
I'm trying to get serious here at the end, Steve. Do you just want to go so I can actually have a little bit of seriousness? Clearly, it's not going to happen.
I'm just making fun out of the fact that you keep emphasising 15 years.
Yes, it's 15 years, that's why. Come back in 15 years' time from now and say, is it only 15 years? 15 years is a long time. Some people watching us, Steve,
Yes,
were not even born when I started doing this.
that is true. We have had people on
Yeah.
who have said that.
Yeah. So 15 years is a long time. For some people, it's their whole life. So I think it's worth mentioning.
Well, there'll be another 5 years to go before there's anything worth celebrating.
Well,
It should be your 20th.
it'll be 5 years until the 20th anniversary. Although I will probably not be alive then.
That is not true. Don't say
I'm
those
afraid.
things, Mr. Duncan.
60. That's it. Once I get to 60, that's it. I don't care what happens.
But you said that at 50
Yeah, you keep saying that.
and at 40.
But I changed my mind. I never said it about 40. 60. I think 60, that's it.
This is a very long, protracted goodbye.
I hope within the next 4 years I get everything I want to do done. And then 60, I just won't care. You can do anything with me. You can
Protracted? Do you want to explain the meaning of that word before we go?
protracted.
So, yes, elongated, stretched
Yes.
out,
Something that's
extended.
something that's protracted is something that is spread further out, or you make it last longer.
So if I say this is a protracted goodbye, it
Protracted.
means that we're taking a long time to say goodbye. Longer than probably we should do.
Yes. Something like that.
Yes, there we go. It's just up to me to do
Shall
the
we just
English,
keep
obviously.
talking? Shall we just keep talking until there's no one else there? Until everyone's gone?
Oh, until it goes down to one person. No, we can't go until everyone's gone.
Yes. So we're going to stay here now until you've all gone. So can you all please go now?
I think
Please.
they want us to go.
I'm
I think
sure-
people do want us to go.
I'm sure you have something more important or better to do with your Sunday than watch us on your computer device.
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. That's it, Steve.
Are you going to fade me away?
I am going to fade you away.
professional way.
I should have done that 2 hours ago, but I should have faded you away. I should never have faded you up, to be honest. Thank you, Mr. Steve. Thank you for sharing my special day.
What was that? What day's that? Sorry? What special day? What's special about today, Mr. Duncan?
15th anniversary.
Oh, right, yes. Right. Ta-ta, everybody. Hope to see you next week. Enjoy Mr. Duncan in the week. Maybe he'll teach you something on Wednesday.
Maybe.
And I'm going to put the kettle on. There's no cake, but never mind.
No.
Bye.
Actually, Steve was right. It is getting dark outside. The darkness is falling across the land. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. Something a little different. I will be going in a moment. Thanks a lot for your company. It's been an interesting one. Some interesting moments of time have taken place. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I've enjoyed myself. I'm not sure what Mr. Steve was doing. I can only assume Mr. Steve was enjoying himself as well. See you on Wednesday. I'm back with you. Don't forget, and this is something I want to mention. I don't normally mention it whilst I'm actually talking to you, but if you want to make a donation to my little fund to help this continue, because I've been doing this now for 15 years and I don't I don't normally ask for donations directly, but today, if you want to help, if you want to send a little donation, something small, it doesn't have to be big, but anything really, because everything I do is free. Everything I do and everything I have done for the past 15 years has been done for free. I have given it all away. See you on Wednesday. Take care of yourself, and I hope you have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. This is Mr. Duncan on my 15th anniversary on YouTube saying thanks for watching. See you on Wednesday, and of course, until the next time we meet here, which hopefully will be Wednesday, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Oh, I am so exhausted. Here's to another 15 years on YouTube. And of course, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Thank you for being a part of my life. Ta-ta for now.